This is the T2.5 Thursday night chase race. Tock is the course, should suit me quite well. It's a flat course. One point that I know I might struggle a little bit is the little, it's not a climb, a little lumpy bit coming out of the Fuego Flats into Titans Grove. It's sort of a fairly long-ish sort of 2%er really, and I've got that in the back of my mind, knowing if I'm pushing hard just to keep up on the flat, it might be a little bit difficult up that very small incline, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We've got a fair few Ds in here: P Davies, A Evans, Neil Brandon, J Pepsi, Bradley, M Hill. A couple of new faces, so welcome to the group, everyone. And we're settling quite well, quite nicely. 3 minutes into the race, we've not actually hit the start line yet to start the actual lap itself, but we've come together quite nicely as a group. Something weird has happened with my timing screen on the right hand side. It seemed to always show me at the top, so I couldn't see the riders who are ahead of me. You see I'm third at the moment, but I can't tell who is ahead of me, which is a bit weird. I don't know if that's a bug in the latest update or just an issue I've got, but we're working together quite well, and actually I'm feeling relatively good. I don't know whether the pack dynamics with the new pack dynamics have changed things a bit, but I seem to be able to sort of hang in with the group a little bit better. I don't get those surges where I disappear off the front and then I drop off. So it helps me a little bit, just a bit more consistent, I think. Certainly in the early stages when my legs can handle consistency anyway, because as you know, it gets spiky the further in I go. But yeah, feeling okay, and the group's moving along quite nicely. Still got 16.8 kilometres to go at the moment. Just coming up to 8 minutes in, and it's about now that I started to look back to see how far the C's were behind, and they're only 49 seconds back on us. They've got over a minute clawed back in in about 8 minutes of riding. That's insane. I look back at one of the previous Tempest Fugit races that we did, and our D group isn't necessarily any smaller than we had on that race, and they normally catch us at least at the turning point at the end, maybe midway back to the start line or the finish line, but they're going to catch us really quickly at this rate. They're already down to 45 seconds, so they are storming up behind us. So I'm starting to think in my mind, what am I going to do? Because they're going to catch us quickly. I'm going to have to be ready to jump on. We're just coming up this. I've just fallen off the back slightly here. Just a very slightly lumpy bit here. Again, have to put out a bit to make sure I hang on to the back of this group. I think the new pack dynamics feels like if you drop off the back of the group, you kind of have to put a little bit more to get back into it. It can be a little bit more punishing if you're not within the group. Although, as I said before, I find it a little bit easier to stay with them. But starting to feel it a little bit now. Only 9 minutes in, but definitely having to push a bit harder. Starting to feel my legs from the previous race and not necessarily fully recovered yet. And the Sea Cat have already caught us. Just under 13 minutes in, they come flying through. Tried to up the pace. I was watching them sort of come up behind us. I wanted to make sure that I put the power down. I can't see who that is who went through because of the timing on the right. Unfortunately, I can't tell who it was. But I did put out a bit of a burst now just to get myself up to speed. Make sure I could sit in as the main group came past and stick with the group and see how many other Ds went with them as well. Most, if not all, of the D-Cat, I think J Pep just fell off the back of the group as these guys came through, but I think the majority of the group went with the C's. I'm starting to struggle a little bit, actually. I'm having to put out that little extra consistent high-level watts to get in with this group, and I'm struggling to find those watts. I had to put out a bit of red zone effort. I nearly lost the back of the group a couple of times, just trying to get up to speed with them as they came through. But settling in here, and also know we've got that little bumpy bit coming up in a second as well. But yeah, starting to feel it, which is a bit weird because I definitely pushed harder than this in my last race. I felt relatively strong, but I was just feeling my muscles start to just, I don't know, almost like they weren't fresh. Trying to push hard down on the pedals, and I just felt strain in different areas, mainly above the knee, sort of on the inside. I don't know whether that's through to lack of riding or you know, just not recovering properly. I don't know what it is, but I did start to struggle a little bit. I was also starting to struggle with just getting breath into my lungs, getting air into my lungs. My heart rate's up at 179 here, trying to put out all the bursts I can. I just knew this section would be my most difficult. If I could get to the top of this bit, it's only 2%. It feels really sad to say, or pathetic to say, but you can see how everyone is just disappearing up. I'm trying to put in those red zone efforts. I can't keep a consistent effort out because my heart rate's quite high. I can't get the air into my lungs. My legs are screaming at me. And we just get to nearly to the top here, and I've lost the back. Genuinely doing all I can to try and stay, but I just couldn't. And you just see them just get over the top here ahead of me and disappear off up the road. Disappointment in my face again, shaking my head. And I thought, right, I had to just stop pedaling for a little while, get some air in and just recover a little bit to be able to go a bit harder again. But just lost the back of the group, which was pretty gutting because it wasn't that far away from the top. And how many times have I said that? I lost the group just before the top of a hill. Going through the underwater tunnels, and a couple of the BCAT come through. Sea Green and Corbyn's Chris Jupp come past. I didn't even contemplate the idea of trying to push on, gain a couple of seconds with those guys in their draft. I was gone by this point. You can see I'm just coasting. I just cannot put out a consistent anything in my legs. I was okay now breathing wise, but my legs were gone. They were screaming at me, just doing a normal sort of level of ride. C. Bradley was ahead for a while. I don't know whether he dropped back to ride with me, but we kind of do a lot of the rest. I think Jay Pep also catches a little bit later, and we kind of ride towards the end together. Rubbish. No word other than that, just rubbish. I don't know whether that first bit just took it out of me. No recovery. I don't know what it is, but pretty casual ride from this point. MK also joined us in the last few kilometres, just riding a few kilometres together, and then we came to towards the sprint line here, where those guys decided to sprint it out to the finish line, and I just had a rather painful last few hundred metres crawling across the finish line. So slightly disappointing, especially considering the last race I felt really strong, just about hung on to the group until that last climb. This was a bit different. I think it's probably because I was off the bike for a little while, and now I'm back to more consistent riding. I did a couple of rides during the week. Whilst they weren't races and real strenuous efforts, I just think maybe my body hadn't recovered enough yet my muscles. I don't know. Just one of those races. So I've actually had a couple of days to recover. I was having a bit of derriere soreness as well. So I thought I'm just going to give it a couple of days to recover. And then hit something again later on this evening, which I'm looking forward to. I'm really enjoying being back on the bike again, which is definitely a positive. Hopefully the difficulties like this will be few and far between as I get used to riding more regularly again. So yeah, mixed bag really. One good thing that we did do after the race is our new post-race social ride, which was awesome. Everyone jumped on. They were all jumping at different points after finishing the race. And we had a nice casual ride, a chat on Discord and in the Zwift chat as well. So definitely worth something coming along to after our races. And just join that ride if you don't even race. If you just want to come for a casual ride, it was just a nice little pootle around and having a good chat afterwards and sort of debriefing on how the race went, which was really, really good. Talking about new rides, Yi and Ben Bishop, I'm taking the Discord server names there, have set up the weekly segment challenge where they'll pick a segment just throughout each week to do. It could be a short sprint segment, it might be a hilly climb, it might be a full lap, but they'll pick some varying different things each week where you can jump on at any time, Monday to Sunday, to do that. And then you have to just go to the Google Documents form and just put your time in there. We're going to trust people that they're going to put the accurate times in. Nobody's going to cheat, fingers crossed, rather than trying to verify times through Strava and things like that. But there's a new Discord channel on the server. On the left hand side under the event section, you'll see the weekly challenge section. All the information will be in there. The link to the Google document for putting your times in is on there as well. It just explains a few things about using a TT bike, any TT bike, but it needs to be a TT bike, and a few other bits and bobs that you might be interested in. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to give this one a go, hopefully early next week. Try and get myself on the leaderboard, probably near the bottom. But I think it's really good because it will be something for people who live elsewhere in different time zones to sort of be part of the group and try and get yourself on the leaderboard as well. So thank you to you guys for setting that up. That is awesome. I think there's not a lot else to talk about this week. I'm excited about being back on the bike. I'm going to get on the bike again tonight, do something a little bit different. I've got another one of those crit, stage 3 of the crit races, the Zwift Crit races I might do tonight, or a workout. Not quite sure yet. As I said, I had a couple of days just to let my body kind of recover, and I'm feeling okay. I've been moving around doing a lot of work in the house, and I'm not feeling like on Friday and some of Saturday, my knees were hurting and my legs were sore, my backside was sore. So I'm glad that's kind of finished, and I'm hoping I'll be all right to get on now as well. So anyway, that is the end of this video. If you have enjoyed it, do hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.